Okay. Guys, am I audible to all of you? Can you just confirm me whether the voice is loud and clear? Is the voice is clear? Okay. All right, guys. So what I'll do today is I'll be discussing about yesterday. I've told you I'll discuss ideal types in detail today. So we will take up ideal types, and then I'll just go through the PDF of the ideal type so that you will get to know what all things need to be written in your answer. It's a very well prepared PDF or the answer. You just need to cut, copy, paste exactly the same thing if the question is asked directly on ideal types. And mostly they will be asking question directly on ideal types. And there I have just mentioned about some examples. And that example, one of the example that we have done yesterday, social action. There I have discussed about 4 different ideal types of the social action. And today I'll be dealing with one more theory after we discuss about the concept of ideal type in detail, that is Protestant ethic and spirit of capitalism. In that theory also you will be seeing the use of ideal types. Okay, so these two are classical examples that you can use when it comes to the question on ideal types. Apart from that, Weber used this concept extensively. His ideas about bureaucracy, his ideas about authority, everywhere he is talking about ideal types. Okay, so let's just get into the details of ideal types. It is nothing like whatever we have discussed yesterday. That's what you need to know about ideal types. So what is ideal type? What I've told you yesterday, ideal type means, so guys, Weber used, so how will you start the introduction if at all this question is asked? Ideal types has been used extensively by Weber. You can write about Weber 1 or 2 lines, and you can say this is a concept or this is a method which is given by Weber, and he himself used this method extensively in order to conduct a objective sociological study. Frequency issues there, guys? Anyone else? Can you confirm me? Any? Okay, no problem, Divya. I think you can just log out and log in again. Any others? Okay, there was. Okay. So is it okay now? No issue. So at least for if someone, one person have no issue means from my side there is no issue. Okay. So no issue. All right, guys. So yeah, I was talking about the way you will be writing introduction, right? So you can write something like this. Weber have given this concept of ideal type, or Weber have used this concept of ideal types in all his in most of his theories and approaches, so that you can study a social phenomena objectively. Okay, so this concept has been given by Weber to study a social phenomena objectively, or to study social action objectively. Now, what is ideal types? Ideal type is nothing but the regularities. Okay, so this is the most important word that you need to know. Once you know this, this is a very simple concept. Now, regularities, why don't you explain what is regularities? Regularities means what are the regularly understood elements of any given social item, right? So regularly understood elements means what is there in the mind of a common man. That's enough. So when I talk about crime, what are the regularities of crime? Okay, when I talk about murder, or when I talk about something, any social, when I talk about religion, what are the regularly understood elements of religion? When I talk about family, what are the regularly understood elements of family? But then there is problem, right? When I start counting the regularities of family, if I ask you to name some regularities, everybody will keep on telling something, right? So it may go even more than hundreds. It will go even in hundreds. I can make it up to hundreds. But will it be possible for us to take all these regularities? No, right? So what we take is the most commonly understood meaning, or most commonly understood, or most common regularities. And for this, Weber extensively says, in all his approach, you need a trained investigator. Not like everybody cannot use this method. The problem is if everybody start using this method of ideal types like a common man, what is the problem? The problem will be it is going to be very subjective. So if I ask you the ideal types of family, you may use your subjectivity and you may come with a Marxian approach and you will tell the bad things about family. And obviously I have to accept this, that these are things which are seen in family. Like you talk about domestic violence, okay, you talk about alcoholism, you talk about dowry issues, so you are completely negative into that. What is that? It is completely your subjectivity. Guys, I hope you got my point. But it is because of your bias. So if you're using this method of ideal types, and when you're trying to identify the regularities, you will say, these are the regularities, these are the regularities that I understood, these are the regularities that I regularly see in my area. Okay, nobody can dispute with that. Okay, so what Weber says is, you need a trained investigator, but is that the regular elements in all family? No, right? When we talk about family, what all things, why I'm discussing about family is because this is the easy way to make you understand this concept. Okay, so regularly, if you see, what are the common elements of family? These are, when this is the most important, right? One of the most important, you have an economic security, right? If your father is making money, means it belongs to you. So you have that safety. Whatever you want, you will get it from your father or mother or whatever it is. Okay. Then second thing is, you will have that emotional security. Either it is from your wife, or is it from your kids, or is it from your father, mother, your sister, brother. So that family is an agent of that emotional security. And most importantly, the most important function is the sexual gratification. Okay, so these are and again, taking care of child, one of the most important function of family. Taking care of aged, one of the most important function of family. So these are what you mean by, not just this. There will be more and more and more, right? But when someone is asking me what are the regularly seen elements of family, these are the points that I will list down first. But if I belong, a common man, forget about functionalist. I don't want to be a functionalist to write about this, right? I just need to be a common man to write about these things. I have an economic security, I have emotional security, I have the sexual gratification. I have seen that taking care of child is one of the most important function of family. Taking care of aged, your parents or the grandparents, is another function of family. So these are common things which is there. But if I'm biased, what I'll tell, family, domestic violence, family is a abusive, setup, right? And then I can talk about dowry issues and all these issues I can talk about. But that is because of the subjective bias. You got my point? So if you're simply allowing anyone to take the regularities, what will happen? It involves subjectivity. But what kind of understanding Weber proposed? It is the objective study of subjective reality. Guys, someone have told me that in Essential Sociology, it has mentioned that Weber's approach is subjective understanding of objective reality. I don't know, I have not seen that, but if it is so, it is perfectly wrong. I don't know in which line it is written. It might be a mistake also. It is clearly objective study of subjective reality. Why objective study? Weber is, are we studying the theories of Weber? Yes, theory is there. That means that belong to positivists. That is an objective study. Is Weber telling you to understand cause and effect relation? Yes. What does that mean? It is objective study. Is Weber is giving you methods? Why he is giving methods? To study objectively. Is Weber talking about a trained investigator? Why? Because he wants to conduct the research objectively. So these are elements from positivism which is common in Weber. Is not a pure non-positivist. What he study, it is subjective reality. It is the internal reality. So it might be a mistake. Okay, so I don't know about that. I haven't seen that. Someone have messaged me. I've replied that. Whatever we have learned is perfectly correct. Even if you have any confusion, even if you think that I am wrong, just look into this. Why you're studying Weber's theory? Is he talking about cause and effect? Is he giving you method? Why we are studying this Verstehen, ideal types, causal pluralism, causal probabilism, and all these things? Comparative analysis. Why? What is the purpose of that? Why he is stressing on trained investigator? The purpose is to ensure objective research. That means it is an objective study of a subjective reality. What is that subjective reality? It is an internal meanings, motives, emotions, that aspect. Okay, so no need to have any confusion with that. So ideal type means identifying the regularities. Now what Weber says is, there are hundreds of regularities, but individual elements are meaningless. You just, now I'm telling you, I'm going to study a phenomena which is going to give you economic security. Okay, so will you be able to connect it with family? Not necessarily, right? It can be from your friends also. You will have economic security, or from your girlfriend also, right? Emotional security, again, it can be from your friends or any of your groups or anything. Sexual gratification, not necessarily family. Taking care of child, there are many alternative institutions are there for that, child care centers and all. Taking care of aged, again, old age homes. So individual elements, if you see, these are individual elements, will not give you the picture of family. But when I combine these elements, it give you the idea about family. So for Weber, these regularities in itself won't convey anything to you, but when combined, it will give you the actual picture. That's exactly what we understood yesterday in social action. The four different ideal types, you may not see a action which exactly belong to one of the type. It may be a combination of one or two or three or even four. Okay, so this is what ideal type. Now the construction of ideal type and the way you ensure objectivity and everything, I'll explain with the PDF. Let's get into the PDF. So whatever you need to write in your paper, I'll tell you over there. Okay. Okay, guys. Weber used extensively the method of ideal types for the purpose of objective sociological research. The concept of ideal types had been